run قوزم كزي إيز قي قز مرز قدو يلبس run قوزم كزي إيز قي قز مرز قدو يلبس run قوزم كزي إز أقى قز مرز قدو يلكس ورن قبوزم نيذ ذا إز أقى قز مرز قدو يلكس ورن قبوزم نذ ذا إز أقى قز مرز قدو يلكس. And any further thoughts on the chant are the invocation that we shared last time?
My sound is messing up here.
And Uqi is the word for dawn. So Imbolc is like the dawn of the year, just as Samhain is as the dusk of the year. And another pronunciation of what we see here is il reshkigal or on reshkigal instead of ereshkigal. And we can look at the cuneiform. Oh, I don't have that open. And you'll find other meanings that you can associate with the name there by looking at the individual characters, because it all forms sort of a picture. And so we have, before finishing these references here, so the words for hell in the Bible include stuff like the Valley of Hinnom. Not really that bad of a term, but it was used as a metaphor. So Taratu, the cast into hell, the hollow hand, Shal, and then there's Sheol as well. Sheol, fire, a decision, a judgment, an accusation, something thrown or cast, an affirmation, a light, a coming into being or a happening, a guarding, a watching, a mere bodily thing, cast into, lower, lowest, a reaching point. Of course, the myth of Ereshkigal that we have here is, that out of hell and the snakes of the boundary. Sort of a Persephone, but a little bit darker of a story. Okay, purpose, going after, proclaiming, promising, returning, going up, throw, sailing, a short sword or dagger, kindling afresh, and a pulling down. And so we have Luke 12:5. Which translates something like, but I will show you whom ye should fear. Fear him who, after having killed, authority has been cast out into Gehenna. Yea, I say unto you, him fear. I think of some of these other references that's like, these people who think that like no one's worthy and all that sort of stuff. It's like, well, what type of afterlife do you think you're going to have if you think that it's not even possible for somebody to be worthy on their own, or that you're all wicked sinners and you can't be anything else, right? Sin, of course, meaning mistake. Do I have you there? And Luke 5:3 renders something like, and having entered into one of the ships, which was Simon's, he asked him from the land to put off a little, and having sat down, he taught from the ship the crowds. And so Mark 14:54, quite a long chapter there. And Peter from afar off followed him as far within to the court of the high priest, and he was sitting with the officers and warming himself at the fire. And I say hell because these things have been connected as such elsewhere. Now, there are other references that I could have included. And so Matthew 23:33, I just thought I'd give an overview. I'll do a more complete view of hell, not per se the individual names, that's elsewhere, but serpents, offspring of vipers, how shall you escape from the judgment of Gehenna? And again, the Rishkal myth had this, serpents of the boundaries. 21:5 is, say to the daughter of Sion, behold, thy king comes to thee meek and mounted on a donkey and a colt, the fowl of birth beast burden. And of course, we can think of animals as related to the various chakras. And there's 114 chakras, but the basic 7 system. 14:6. But a birthday being celebrated of Herod, danced the daughter of Herodias in the midst and pleased Herod. And the celebration of birthdays is a very satanic thing. You don't find it related to any of the more standard theologies, you can say. Matthew 10:34. Think not that I came to place peace on the earth. I came not to place peace, but a sword. Again, to say who deserves that hell or whatever, right? And of course, the dance of the 7 veils, again, the whole veil reference being brought up out of hell, but it's so 10:28, and ye should not fear because of those who kill the body, but the soul are not able to kill, but ye should fear rather than him who is able both soul and body to destroy in Gehenna. One of the ancient Egyptians' ideas of hell is, that whole thing about wanting to be completely destroyed. But the general idea in Revelation-based mythology is that doesn't really happen. 6:22 and 23. The lamp of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye single be holy, thy body light will be. But if thine eye evil be, thy body dark will be. If therefore the light that is in thee darkness is, the darkness how great. And we can think of things in terms of dark and light, both morally and otherwise. 533. Again, ye have heard that it was said to the ancients, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but thou shalt render to the Lord thine oaths. 30. And if thy right hand cause to offend thee, cut off it, and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that should perish one of thy members, and not whole thy body be cast into Gehenna. 29. But if thine eye the right cause to offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that should perish one of thy members, and not the whole of thy body be cast into Gehenna. Yeah, you want to be careful not to become abrogated. 23. If, therefore, thou shalt offer thy gift at thy altar, and there shall remember that thy brother has something against thee. And in the spiritual community, you want to make things as one too. 520. For I say to you that unless shall abound righteousness, you're above of the scribes and the Pharisees, in no wise shall ye enter in the kingdom of the heavens. So you got to ascend beyond the conservative modes. And 22, ye have heard that it was said to the ancients, thou shalt not commit murder, but whosoever shall commit murder, liable shall be to the judgment. And there's obviously more to these things than that. And that's it with what I would call the yellow verses. The bright quarter is when I bring out this and this sort of triptych of, or this 3-in-1 sort of ring thing that I found, and this other 3 with a bigger 3 in the middle ring that I was given. This hand thought reading symbol. There's more to it than that, but I got a Haniel coin. There was a double in a set that I got, so that's that. And unakite, and there's typically pink lepidolite or something in these stones. But it's a stone of sort of compromise, and sort of silver as a lunar thing of the cyclical rather than the lineal and some other aspects, which is important in connecting things to Ereshkigal and some feminine element. So a stone of working together. Go in the meaning of this. Oh, that's kind of like a solar thing. So we're bringing the solar symbolism into things. Oh, Haziel. Okay, it's not Haniel, it's Haziel. Interesting little symbols. I try to connect some sense of extra meaning to these things. And it's, little stones, you can scry into them and all that stuff. And so I don't know what happened to our guest there, but we'll have to continue without her. So the spring tarot cards, we have the Ace and Princess of Swords with the Fool as both Uranus and air. And for Imbolc, the start of the warming quarter, we have the Empress, the Hierophant, and the Chariot. For February, we have the Queen of Wands and the Devil is Capricorn. And Saturday, because we're going to evening, right, we would have the Universe. And the Six of Wands, this is Jupiter in Leo or Jupiter in Capricorn as Victory. And we'll go into a little bit the further into the hell verses. There are more names for these things, but as a more basic idea, I thought to just have several and kind of, work it into a point, but I thought, let's engage the whole of the chronic mythology around Gehenna. But if you fail, as you are sure of you, then guard yourself against the fire whose fuel is men and stones prepared for the misbelieving or the covering. And so 2:24 there. It's interesting with the people, they're fire beings. Well, it's a different sort of thing, so that kind of doesn't fly out. It's something that will process them too. Okay, so 2:39, and they that deny and reject our revelation shall be the inmates of the fire, and they shall abide forever. Now, of course, the real revelations, that's the thing. They declare the fire will never touch us except for a few days. Say, did God make you such a promise? God will not break his promise. Or do you assert about God what you have no means of knowledge? Now, don't just try to make up your own heaven. A lot of people are trying to make up their own heaven, right? Or their own spirituality. And it's like, okay, make judgments based on the information you have, but don't do random speculation. When we make truly those that commit evil and become engrossed in sin shall be the inmates of the fire. There they shall abide forever. Those who have faith and do good works are the heirs of paradise. There they shall abide forever. And of course, there's more mentions if we turn to the word of fire. But we're not doing that here. What is there, 77 mentions, 78, something like that? To 126. As for those that do not, he answered, I shall let them live a while, and then shall drag them to the scourge of the fire, an evil fate. And that's the whole thing that we had in the Bible that we mentioned, that it's this pulling down place. 167. Thus will God show them their own works. They shall sigh with remorse, but shall never come out of the fire. Some of the satanic literature talks about, willingly choosing to be, these beings of the fire, that you're given this special place in hell because of this sort of stuff. So, yeah. And 174, those who suppress any part of the scriptures which God has revealed in order to gain some paltry end shall swallow nothing but fire into their bellies. On the day of resurrection, God will neither speak to them nor purify them. There shall be a woeful punishment. And you hear all the time about these. And that's verse 175 as well. All the time you hear about these people. Oh, no, 175 is such are those that barter guidance for error and forgiveness for punishment. How steadfastly they seek the fire. Very frequently, I hear these people that they're supposed to be in charge of these religious traditions, but they edit them so that they're not believers in them. And often people are editing them because, they want to get away with something or they want something bestowed, right? Like Paul Twitchell would say, nope, I haven't changed it yet. Haven't changed it yet. Come on, dude. 201. But there are others who say, Lord, give us what is good both in this world and the hereafter, and keep us from the torment of the fire. Yeah, that prayer that people say in the prayer. Rabbana atina fidunya. Oh, I missed it. Rabbana atina fidunya hasanatan afil akhirate hasanatan waqina adhab nar. Yeah, the last sitting portion of the Muslim prayer, a lot of people will say this verse, 217 of Surah 2. But whoever of you recants and dies an unbeliever. Oh, okay, I got to figure out where this verse starts. Oh, that's Yasalunaka Shahra. Okay. They ask you. Okay, well, they will not cease to fight against you until they force you to renounce the faith, if they are able. But whoever you recants and dies an unbeliever, his works shall come to nothing in this world and the world to come. Such men are the tenants of the fire, wherein they shall abide forever. Now, if you're forced and you don't actually mean it, that's a different thing. But if you're, just going along with the crowd, then, why should you not be cast down, right? And 221. How's that start? Wallah. Okay, yeah, wallah. Ye shall not wed the misassociating women unless they embrace the faith. The believing slave girl is better than an idolatress. There's no forced marriage in Islam, so don't get confused about that point. Although she may please you, nor shall you wed idolaters unless they embrace the faith. A believing slave is better than an idolater, although he may please you. These call to the fire, but God calls you by his will to paradise and to forgiveness. He makes plain his revelations to mankind so that they may take heed. And let us all remember that one of the things going on with that is that when they say God, they're not talking about some sky father or something limited by gender or something like that. 257. God is the patron of the faithful. He leads them from darkness to the light. As for the unbelievers, their patrons are false gods who lead them from light to darkness, and they are the heirs of the fire and shall abide in it forever. False gods. What's the term being used for that? Tagut. Okay, so the boundary breakers at Zoth, as some people are going to say. And again, the Ereshkigal sort of region of mythology is being addressed here. And 275, those that live on usury shall rise up before God like men whom Satan has demented by his touch, for they claim that trading is no different from the profiting off of the principal. I don't, not investing, of course, but the charging of interest and that sort of stuff. And the blackmail and stuff can kind of fall under that too. But God has permitted trading and made usury unlawful. He that has received an admonition from his Lord and mended his ways may keep his previous gangs. God will be his judge. Those that turn back shall be inmates of the fire, wherein they shall dwell forever. And moving further, 397. And the business that people take on certainly falls under some of that, doesn't it? Do not be deceived by the fortunes of the unbelievers in the land. Their prosperity is brief. Hell shall be their home, a dismal resting place. As for those that fear their Lord. Okay, that's a short verse, so never. And yeah, there's that these outward things of wealth are not the same thing as one's spiritual state or one's ultimate state. 421. He makes promises and stirs up in them vain desires. Satan makes them promises only to deceive them. Hell shall be their home. From it they shall find no refuge. Kind of like the see, one of the things about this is the idea of deliverance. The poem that we have seen here. Lift us from the curse of false light this very night. And 628. He will say, the fire shall be your home, and there you shall remain forever unless God ordain otherwise. Your Lord is wise and all-knowing. Now, see, there's an implication that once things are paid for, then that's going to be, it with one's time. This idea of eternal hellfire, sort of equal, everybody's the same or something that doesn't show itself too much in reality. So 741, hell shall be their couch, and sheets of fire shall cover them. Thus shall we reward the evildoers. So from below and above, because they did not turn above and below, are perhaps their considerations of things and their actual deeds of things. And 792 of Quran. We're not in Matthew anymore here. But I didn't make that clear when I was going over some of the implements. Whenever we send a prophet to a city, we afflicted its people with calamities and misfortunes so that they may abase themselves. Then we changed adversity to good fortune so that when they had multiplied, they said, our fathers also had their sorrows and their joys, and in their heedlessness, we suddenly smote them. Okay, that doesn't look like the right thing. Oh, maybe that's it. Okay. But yeah, we're given opportunities in this life to deal with the false egos, that we're not trapped by these false egos. 8:16, believers, when you encounter the misbelievers on the march, do not turn your backs to them in flight. If anyone on that day turns his back to them, except for tactical reasons, or to join another band, he shall incur the wrath of God, and hell shall be his home in evil fate. And when you're in the thick of it, it's a very serious thing. You don't want to lose out there. 963. Are they not aware that the man who defies God and his apostle shall abide forever in the fire of hell? That surely is the supreme humiliation. And more people are doing that consciously. And then you have the mention of the chapters, because a lot of people want Revelation to close off, just like with the book of Revelations. They want that to be the end. But why should that have been the end? And even if the revealed books are over with, certainly there's the book of nature and the book of ourselves that continues to teach us. Why shouldn't we believe in these things because of our very bodies? Shouldn't our bodies be confirming the message or whatever we're supposed to follow or whatever? 13:18, rich is the reward of those that obey God, but those that disobey him, if they possessed all that the earth contains and as much besides, they would gladly offer it for the ransom. There shall be an evil reckoning, hell shall be their home, a dismal resting place. 14:29. And have you not seen those who repay the grace of God with unbelief and drive their people into the house of perdition? In hell shall they burn, evil shall be their fate. And well, that's one of the things that we should be looking at as well, is that what type of fate are we directing things towards? Are we going to be comfortable or content with the results of what we're bringing forth? 1543. They are all destined for hell. It has 7 gates. Through each gate, they shall come in separate bands. So they're coming in. The Rishkagal thing is about being brought out. Now, in referring to the various mythologies, we don't have to, take Erishkigal as a goddess to use it as a symbol or dimension or something. So 1629, enter the gates of hell, there you shall abide forever. Dismal is the abode of arrogance. And like in the Goetia, number 1, arrogance very much mixes in with that. I know it's part of other ones like 32 and stuff, but 1763. Be gone, said he. Hell is your reward, and the reward of those who follow you. An ample reward it shall be. Rouse with your voice. Oh, that's the other thing. Yeah, the musical instruments is the thing that it's not per se that the musical instruments are like this great evil in themselves. It's just, people waste their time. It's used in a harmful way. It's given other things to it. So 1802, hell is their reward because they had no faith and because they scoffed at my apostles and my revelations. One of the things that you have right there is one of those 10 verses. People believe that if they say the chapter 18 are the first 10, or the last 10, or both, that they are saved from at the jaw, the golden one, the false messiah, whatever it's called. 1986. We will get, okay. The day will surely come when we gather the righteous in multitudes before the Lord of mercy and drive the guilty into hell in thirsty hordes. None has power to intercede for them save who has received the sanction of the merciful. Now, even when I am full, I feel hungry and thirsty. So that's not what they're talking about. Because you should train yourself to feel content. Feel content whether or not you got food in you. 2074. He that comes before his Lord laden with sin shall be consigned to hell, where he shall neither die nor live. Yeah, you don't want to be one of these people that's, I'm a sinner. It's like, no, you tried to not make mistakes. You tried to have the right beliefs. 2198. You and your idols shall be fuel of hell. Therein you shall all go down. Were they true gods? You know, that's one of the things that we should probably look at is what is the reality? And your device and a person's devices are going to fail too. So don't expect your devices to save you. 2565. Let's see if we can do that. Those blind. Do not hell. Okay, what's the... But when we visit our scourge upon those of them that live in comfort, they will cry out for help. We shall say, do not howl this day, for from us ye shall receive no help. Scorn time. Yeah, you don't you take care of things now rather than waiting. And I'm lost.